You are watching Scratch TV on YouTube.com.
Award-winning radio broadcaster, world-class champion, all-round reggae geek, and an MBE to his name. It's no other than the man himself, David Ram Jam RODIGAN. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hi, lovely. Thanks for inviting me on your show. How's everything going with you?
Everything's going really, really good. I know you're extremely busy right now, but how's a day in the life of David RODIGAN?
Well, today I'm actually catching up on paperwork. I'm accessing new music that's sent to me every week via email, and then preparing for my Sunday show. So basically, stuff doing at home. You know, you're a DJ. You know what it's like. In the old days, you had to get on a bus and go to a record shop in Handsworth. Now we don't have to do that because music's sent to us via emails and MP3s and WAVs and so on and so forth. But it's still time-consuming because you've got to wade through everything, and you're looking for hit records because you need to entertain your audience. Audiences are entertained by DJs who know about music and care about music and want to share it.
Yeah,
and we can all sit and play oldies. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But without new music, there's no future, and that's why we have to treasure and we have to chase new music. That's our duty as presenters.
Well, we're going to talk about the music side of things a little later on. We want to get straight into the book, My Life in Reggae, which I actually took the time out to read, purchase, and it was an absolutely brilliant read. Let's go into the whole structure of the thing. Where did it all start to say, you know what, let's do a book?
Well, a number of people over the years have said to me, you know, you really should write a book of your experience in the world of reggae. And it was actually Damian Marley who pushed it and made it happen, because pushed the envelope, so to speak. He told me after a show 3 years ago at Carnival, you should write a book. You need to write a book. It's important that you do so. You've lived through the changes in the music, and there's not enough written down about the music, but you need to do a book. And I took his advice, and I had a meeting with a journalist called Ian Burrell, who'd already suggested to me that I should write a book, and he was prepared to write it with me as a journalist, a professional journalist with the Independent, the media editor. And so together we set about doing it, and the end result is out there. And it's not just about music, of course. It's about my life and what happened to me during, you know, from when I was young, growing up, and the things I experienced, the things I saw, and the things I was able to relate to. So it isn't just a music book. It's really a reflection of a period in time from the 50s until now. So it's a document of social change in terms of how we listen to music, sound class culture, the various stages of the music's development over the past 50-odd years, which I was fortunate to live through those changes, because I was born in 1951 and I fell in love with the music in the early 60s when it was just coming out of Jamaica. So I was a witness to it. I lived through the changes, and I'm very fortunate to have done so. I didn't have to imagine what it was like. Yeah. I saw it, I felt it, I was there.
Yeah, and because, like you says...
when I say I was there, I wasn't in Jamaica in the 60s, obviously, but I was there in terms of being a fan in this country, buying the music and going to shows.
And like you says, as a DJ, and as fellow DJs and sound systems and radio presenters all around, who we gross ourselves in music, vinyl, CDs, whatever kind of format, a book is kind of like a different thing. So how was your whole writing process to try and get that out, like how you would kind of give out and present a radio show or do a sound clash? How did your writing process go around by doing that and presenting it as a book?
That's a good question. We tried to write it as though I was sitting in the room speaking it.
Yes.
I've noticed one or two comments. People have said, I'm reading this book and I can hear RODIGAN's voice. I tried, and I'm delighted that people have noticed that. We tried to write it as though I was in a room speaking to someone and reflecting upon things.
Yeah.
Rather than a kind of distancing myself from it. I tried to personalize it as much as possible. I was very open and frank about a number of situations that perhaps other people would have said, oh, no, you don't want to mention that, or you want to leave that out. And I decided, no, I would address the things that I felt were significant, both the good and the bad.
And how did you find doing that, writing a book? Did you find it exciting? Was it exhausting? Did you get memory block, all those things?
Funnily enough, I didn't get memory block. A lot of people have said to me, you must have a lot of diaries. I don't have any diaries. I never wrote any of this down. I remember it all, and I remember it vividly. I mean, obviously, we double-checked dates and specific times.
Yeah.
You know, was it the Thursday night at that venue, or was it the Friday night, or was it June, or was it May? I mean, whenever possible, we've tried to be even more specific about a concert that I went to see or something like that. But because it had such a profound effect upon me, it being the music, because when I was growing up, the things that happened to me as a young man, as a teenager growing up, were memorable things I never forgot. And I think that's true of any young person from any generation. We never forget significant moments in our lives. And I've been around a few years now, so I can look back, and those memories are still with me. They're still strong. So it was relatively easy to recall it all because it was there. I haven't forgotten it.
Yeah.
We just had to back it up with cross-referencing dates, and obviously we had to be doubly certain that factual information that we had used to embellish and colour and lift stories were true. I mean, documented things about Africa and Libya and who was in power and so on. We had to, in anything like this, you can't just rattle it out. There's a lot of background work that has to be done.
Yeah.
It had two serious proofreadings, and then the legal department have to look at it for legal reasons in case you're, saying something that perhaps is considered to be unsuitable. You have to look at how you use the lyrics from somebody's songs, how much of them you use. Is it to their advantage or disadvantage if you use it?
Okay.
How much are they to be paid for quoting a song and so on?
So that hence the reason why it took 2 years, should I say, to complete.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
And at the final draft, was there anything that they were saying, you're going to have to take this out? Or is there anything that's not in the book that you wanted to have in the book that you could give us a little exclusive on?
No, there was nothing really. I mean, I could have gone into even more detail about my personal life and so on and so forth, but I felt that there was enough in there with regard to that. There could have been other things I would have included or could have included, but frankly, when someone's telling a story, you need to get to the point.
Yeah. And
it's not the memories of a politician, where you're talking about paragraphs and chapters after chapter after. You've seen the size of some of these books. The politicians write their memoirs. That's for a very different audience. This book had to be. We had to get to the point in every chapter.
Yeah.
So less is more usually in life. If you streamline things, they usually travel better. Yeah. So we streamlined the book as much as we could without leaving out too much. I could have reflected more upon my teenage years, perhaps, and so on and so forth. But I could have gone into perhaps more details about relationships and so on and so forth. But again, this can be an invasion into the privacy of other people. You have to be mindful of how far you venture into somebody else's world by talking about them.
Yeah.
So, there were certainly some things I could have said about certain individuals who have been particularly unpleasant to me.
Yeah, we'll get onto that a bit later.
Well, no, but I mean, there's no point in doing so. This is because it serves no purpose. Those people, unpleasant people. As my mother used to say, you haven't got anything nice to say about somebody, don't say anything.
Well, we're going to... Oh, sorry. Go on. Go ahead.
No, I obviously had to put up with racist acts of vengeance against me from particularly bad-minded people who had an obnoxious view on what I had achieved. And we address that in the book. We talk about them, and we talk about the organisation. We can't name names because no one was able to prove who these cowards were. But,
do you find it... Sorry to cut you, RODIGAN. Do you find it frustrating that, like, now, because you kind of brought it up, that there's certain people that's coming off with a lot of negative stuff, and I was saying, so why don't you just read the book? Because there's certain things where people are saying, and I'm saying, yo, fam, just buy the book, man. Like, it's in there. People say, yo, RODIGAN, him not pay for dub plates. I says, yo, read the book, he talks about it. Yo, has RODIGAN got a sound? Yo, read the book, he talks about it. But they keep coming up with these assumptions. Do you find that frustrating?
It is incredibly frustrating, and I think what you've just said is so pertinent and so on point. If you don't read, you don't know. And the greatest thing is to know. And what you don't know, you don't know. Hearsay is hearsay. Facts are facts. They are two different things. Hearsay is what somebody says. A fact is a fact. And the book contains facts about my life. So people can make... I mean, Shaggy has a song, a really, really, really powerful song that he wrote a few years ago. And I defy anyone not to listen to it. And I defy anyone, having listened to it, not to say to themselves, okay, I better just shut up when I'm criticizing people. Because in that song, it's called Think I Saw It Go. Think I Saw It Go. Listen to what he has to say in that song and let it sink in. If you think that some people get it easy, for example, a lot of people say Sean Paul had it easy. Sean Paul never had it easy. Sean Paul, and I think he'd be the first to admit it, was a relatively shy individual. He was brilliant in the studio with his melodies and so on. And remember, we were playing Sean Paul in '97 when he wasn't a pop star. Yeah. But he's very clever with melodies. He's very clever with fitting lyrics to songs. But you know, that man works incredibly hard in rehearsal to make his stage show good.
And with yourself, sorry to cut you again, because I know that time is against us. So, just with the way how you structure your thing, I mean, like especially with reggae music, you have the likes of, you would say Bob Marley and the Wailers. You will say even up to the present moment, Chronics and the Zinc Fence Band. Everybody kind of like has that team. Even like in sound system, you'll have Saxon. You say Musclehead, Mini Muscle. You say Love Injection. You say Billy Winston, Zuki. Yeah. When it comes to RODIGAN, it's like RODIGAN. Like how do you structure everything to be so commercially out there right now and be on top of your game for so many years and be so relevant when we don't really see that other the background work? What's the background phase like with RODIGAN? So I think that's a lot of people that might be saying, you know what, it's just RODIGAN. Where's the teamwork? It doesn't seem to put anybody up front with him or aside him or anything. It just seems to be that David RODIGAN brand. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Hard work and dedication gets a lot of people on the move, and you can achieve a lot with hard work and dedication. You can shine and polish your talent. You can improve it by working on it. If you think a good musician is good just by walking on stage and picking up guitar, you're sadly mistaken. Good musicians practice every day. Opera singers practice every day. Practice, as we all know, makes perfect. And I have always been an adherent of detail. I think it's the attention to detail that enables people to succeed in what they do and to do things well. I think if you don't attend to detail, then your game will soon fall apart. That's why football players, boxers, musicians, whatever they are, artists, whatever you do in life, you have to do it with care and attention. And in answer to your question, I started out on my own. I lived in a small village in the middle of nowhere, and I heard the music of this island called Jamaica. And I fell in love with the music, and I started to learn about the culture by putting two and two together. Sometimes it made 5, sometimes it made 7, but eventually it made 4. And I realized by putting things together, that things became apparent to me. So as a boy growing up, as a teenager, then going to college and so on, I was a lone collector. It clearly states in the book. At one stage, I thought I was the only white person that was into this because I felt so estranged because none of my friends in the end liked it. I didn't live in a black community. I wasn't reared in a black community. I wasn't from Willesden or Handsworth. I didn't have the experience that others had. So everything I gleaned and learned, I learned on my own. But eventually, I met people who became friends. Upper Face is one of them. And other individuals who I started working with. When I first started DJing professionally, I needed someone to be on the mic, because in those days you needed a mic man, and I was too shy to do it. So for many years, Papa Face was a man who was the mic man for me. He could DJ lyrics, and he could also DJ himself in terms of mixing. So that was me. In later years, I tried clashing on my own, and I managed to do it. But a number of people said to me, it will be better if you have a mixer.
Yeah.
So I used RS Digital in some of the UK club clashes, and in America I've used Pee-wee. But in other clashes I've clashed on my own. You know, when I played in where was it? In Port of Spain. When I played in Trinidad against the Lion Babyface.
Yeah, that was.
What's then? I've got a blank on the sound. Forgive me. From New York. Oh gosh, I can't believe. Anyway, when I played against Tim, I was on my own. Sometimes I literally am on my own when I'm out there. But with the help of people like Pee-wee for clashes, I'm able to do what I do. When I'm DJing most of the time now, and for many years now, I DJ on my own because I'm playing records. I know what I'm going to play. I want to have fun. I want to communicate my sense of fun with audiences so I can go out in front of the turntable. And I always take care in preparing. I don't necessarily know what I'm going to play when I walk into a stage. But if I'm in a clash, I certainly have a game plan and I have ideas about how I'm going to approach it. And I try to put those ideas into place. But I think really it just comes down to passion and love and wanting to share the music with like-minded souls. It's just that, really. And
with the current situation, I'm going to end the interview on a nice high level. But just another question that a few people who've found out that you're interviewing RODIGAN, and this one question which I just want you to answer this one, and then we don't have to hear anything else about it. If anybody ever came up to you face to face and says, RODIGAN, what have you done for reggae music? Your answer would be,
I shared it.
Can we just leave it at that?
I shared it.
Okay, then that's all I need to know. There's no. If you want to carry on and prolong it, if you want to continue,
no.
I think that's fair enough.
Because that's what a broadcaster does. I've been given the privilege of being a broadcaster. I've been a broadcaster professionally for almost 40 years, and on every show, every week, for almost 40 years on the various radio stations. All I've ever done is show my love for the music by sharing it with like-minded souls. That's what I've done.
And I think that is a brilliant answer. Are we going to see an audio version of the book? Because as you were saying earlier on, it does sound like when you're reading it, it's like I had your voice in my head. I was like, what the heck's going on here? Are we going to get an audio version?
Yes, we're hoping to get to that in due course. So bear with us, and I'm certain it will come eventually. But no plans as yet. We've already gone into the second print of the book. The publishers are very happy with the way the book is selling. And a lot of people are buying it. So we're very happy. Excellent.
And another question before we out. I've got two more questions for you. Okay, there's no RODIGAN. You don't have any songs at all. No dubs, no nothing. And you are a big, big fan of reggae music, as you are now, but you got no music. You got no dubs. No one knows about you. You get a phone call from a sound system. And that sound system says, hey, David, I heard you're a fan of reggae music. I want you to come and play my sound. Which sound system in the world, if there was no David RODIGAN, would you like to select?
Kilimanjaro.
Ooh, everyone says Jaro, you know. So it would be Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, I'd love to select for Jaro because they have great heritage. And I mean, obviously, Ricky Trooper was a brilliant selector. He's not with them anymore. As was Ainsley. But I've always respected Mr. Harper, and I've always respected the way in which Jaro was an upstanding sound system back in the day. And if I had that opportunity to have a wish, and I wasn't David RODIGAN, I was just somebody who had an opportunity, I would love to have played, being a selector for Kilimanjaro, without doubt.
Okay, then definitely. And UK Rumble is beckoning on us very, very soon. We have the likes of Immortal, Liquor Sample, Natural Affair, Classic, Platinum Cartel, also Ecstasy 4x4. For somebody who's been in that position and been on that big stage, which some of these, the majority of these sounds have and done before. But from your experience, what advice would you give to those in terms of reaching out there on that big stage, getting themselves familiar with the whole world and aiming for trophies such as the World Clash?
Be prepared. Failure to prepare is to prepare for failure. Don't take anything for granted. Don't be overconfident. Don't be too loud and aggressive. And don't be too boastful. Rely upon your music. Have faith in yourself and your team. Play as a team. Play with confidence. Play with happiness. And play with joy in your heart. The race is not for the swift. And it actually doesn't matter who wins on the night. What matters is who brought what to the table and what did they do for the music and for the audience. Mm-hmm. People pay hard-earned money to come and witness a clash. Don't let the audience down, and certainly don't let yourself down by behaving inappropriately.
Okay.
Keep your head held high and keep your dignity.
And there you have it, from the man himself, David Ram Jam Rodigan. The book is still available on Amazon right now, both hard and paperback I see now.
Paperback is coming.
And the audio, it will be coming in the somewhat future. I know you're a very busy man.
Okay, hi. Thanks a lot.
Okay, then thank you so much. We're going to end our interview by playing your 20-minute dub plate mix. So before you're out of here, is there anybody that you want to big up?
And I tell you, that's not my dub plate mix. That was done by somebody. I don't know who did it.
Are you happy with it?
Well, a number of, to be honest, there are so many mixes out there that are apparently done by me, and I couldn't mix a cake. So,
shall we run it, or shall we go back to the music?
I don't even know which mix it is, so you can best run it, I guess.
As a fellow selector, I wouldn't play if it wasn't that good.
No, well, exactly. So I'll leave you to enjoy it.
Okay, then. Is there anybody you want to big up before you're out of here?
Just all the people who love the music, just like I did.
Okay, then thank you, Rodigan. I know you got busy, so thank you so much, and we'll catch up hopefully in the near future. Good luck with all the work and everything that you're putting in for reggae music. Definitely good to go. Thank you again.
Thank you, Hype. Take care.
And there you have it, the man himself, David Rodigan, live and...
You are watching Scratch TV channel on YouTube.com.
Hey, Rodigan! This a Rodigan story, real reggae story, foundation story, David Rodigan story. Hey, Rodigan, remember those days when Ska was the sound, when Buster make Capone and him wear the crown, when Billy make Lollipop mash up the town, when Coxon up the sound, when King Stitch was around. Roddy, remember when Tubby's play at Greenwich Stone, when Uriah the DJ we make the most pound, when Big Youth them a shit up and tip a town. That along before some liquor boys start play sound. Now remember when Rodigan come a jam down, and Class Barry G was the boogeyman around, and mash up Jamaica with the slim thin sound. When GT dead from in at the first round, then touch back to England go stamping ground. When Stan Academy was the war zone, a Rodigan bus plate, the plate background. Yesterday, Rodigan ring the phone, and the Rodigan them a go dead now. Can you a play for them and wake up them dead now? Get that grab and bust off them head now. Yeah. On the this you when you a foundation, you is a British guy, you married a Jamaican, and you are one of reggae music in England. I remember about 80 Jamaica explode when a Trinity and Tony you with them a run road. Along before length them an even bigger road. When a dumpster a car run and know the road code. I remember when we robbed the Chinese shop down the road. A rumor of it said the Chinese man about. I remember.
Hey, England.
This a me England story, reggae history, a David Rodigan story, the English history. Hey, well, in 1967, now when Rodigan start, Desmond Decker 007 did a mash up the chart. Now him bring the reggae music to the people them heart. No little hurry come up can't talk. Rodigan a English foundation, we bring the reggae music to the generation. Back in the 78 thing up on Radio London, the wickedest thing fi come out of England. I remember when Rodigan locked the whole block, when them fly out, clash with Barry G and come back. Everybody them a talk about this English man who fly a jam down go clash with the boogeyman.